Regardless of your vote on question 1, you may as well make an informed decision on question 2.
How can you see?
Oh, what was that? Yeah, in order to combat the inherent boringness of explaining election systems, I'm gonna sprinkle in some fun shit, like me failing as a parent. Or this picture of my friend's dog, Nacho.
And there's one of the videos that has gone viral. Joel McCarthy, the filmmaker and full disclosure advocate for proportional representation. I will say this, congratulations on getting people talking about electoral reform here in our province. What's the response been for you? How many thousands of views have you seen on these things?
I think like through the videos that I've worked on for this election, all made for $0. I think we're around 700,000, give or take. So a fair bit for the niche of talking about British Columbia politics, which generally is quite a turnoff for a lot of people just because it's not that exciting. It's a lot of views.
Well, I think this time around, especially with this referendum, people are overwhelmed with information.
Yeah.
That's what we have heard. And here, you've jump-started a conversation with the entertainment aspect, as well as breaking down some of the important things that will impact our voting process. And how did you decide, and when did you decide that I want to make a video and I want people to really pay attention to how things could change?
Well, when the very first announcement of what the ballot was going to look like went out, I called 2 of my politically minded friends and was like, this is one of the scariest ballots I've ever seen. It says vote for proportional representation or first past the post is the first question, but the second one is these 3 different systems that no one probably knew about.
We had to do some research.
Yeah, and so we kind of sat down, like 3 of us just went through it all, the Governor General's report, every bit of information that we could possibly find, and we're like, wow, this took a lot for people that are investing the time there. We have to find ways to boil it down and make it simple. So we did a first video that was kind of a little bit more nonpartisan, and basically we're like, this is what the election is really about. Here's what you need to know, basics. And from there was just kept been a demand to like, hey, can you expand on this? Can you expand on that? And I was kind of just waiting for the cavalry to come, like, oh no, there's a vote yes side, there's all these people that are in favor of it, they're gonna do a great job explaining this and explaining the implications of each system, etc. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, they're not coming. And
well, we needed a flavor, and I mean, you brought that with the dinosaur costumes. Your family, your child has been featured in, but overall, there's an underlying message with some of these videos. So let's hear a bit more. If you haven't seen these YouTube segments of the message behind this whole platform.
Pictures of freaking mail, and the only way to shut them up is to vote for PR. It took us 110 years to get stoners to shut up about legalization. Now is the time to shut up pro-rep warriors. So mail in that ballot. Give pro-rep a chance for 2 election cycles, so our social media feeds can go back to pictures of dogs and food. And don't worry about the wrath of the Vote No volunteers if they lose, because they don't exist. This is just a picture of volunteers from a stock photo site.
Well, we've heard comments on both sides of this. Let's see some of the feedback on Twitter. Finally, an easy way to digest the explanation of proportional representation that doesn't include fear-mongering. And another tweet right here. Go Joel McCarthy, an unaffiliated BC citizen who took it upon himself to talk to BCers about proportional representation in a series of amusing videos. You were not paid for these. You put them out here. Premier John Horgan did reach out to you?
Yeah, he called me. In one of my videos, I did a little bit of like most of these are educational. The clip that you just last showed was kind of my plea to last-minute voters. A little bit more tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, in my first solo video, I did a little side basically calling out John Horgan on the lack of bringing rideshare services to BC, and he ended up personally calling me back. I got this phone call from Victoria, and I picked it up, and he says, "Hi, is this Joel?" And I just burst out in laughter. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
But he then assured me that there was legislation coming for rideshare, and the legislation was released yesterday. It's pretty yeah, it's like potentially wait 2 years. So I'm not necessarily happy, but was at least happy that he personally addressed me about it. But yeah.
But you've got people talking.
Yeah.
Deadline is November 30th.
To get the ballot physically in. So you have to mail it ahead of time or drop it off at a referendum office to make sure that it gets in by the 30th.
That's a good point. Look at you supporting the system. Got to get those details in to have your voice heard. Listen, Joel, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Keep making these videos. It's getting people involved in the process.
Well, I hope people make the right choice, and I'm voting rural-urban proportionate as my #1.
He's got his way. Let's hear from you as well in the next week. We'll take a break.